Hello, everyone. A very good evening to all. And welcome to our one-of-a-kind online summit, Digital Horizons 2023. Am I audible to all?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Nafisa, ma'am.
Okay, let's go ahead. I'm so excited to be here with all of you to discuss the importance of digitalization in every aspect of business. In today's world, technology is advancing at an incredible rate. And it is clear that digitalization is no longer an optional or supplementary part of a business, rather a fundamental part of success. Whether you're a small startup or a large corporation, it is crucial that you have a strong digital presence and strategy. From marketing and sales to operation and customer service, digital tools and platforms are revolutionizing the way we do business. That's what this summit is all about. Bringing together experts and professionals from a variety of industries to share knowledge and experiences and help us navigate this digital landscape. So let us deep dive and explore the endless possibility of digitalization. We are on the second leg of this 3-day event that covers SEO, human resources, and finally social media. Today, we shall discuss the importance of digitalization in the field of human resources. As technology continues to advance and the world becomes more connected, it is essential that HR professionals keep up with the latest digital tools and strategies to effectively manage and support their organization's most valuable assets, their people. Whether it is using online platforms for recruitment and onboarding, implementing HRIS systems to streamline processes, or using data analytics to make informed decisions, the opportunities for digital transformation in HR are endless. So I am Nafisa, representing iVIPANAN as a gracious organizer for this intriguing event. Started in 2014, iVIPANAN is the pioneer of digital marketing training and consultation in South Gujarat region. It encompasses all the facets of digital marketing and has pillared organizations to have impactful growth in the digitalization over the years. Before moving ahead, I have a few instructions to share. I request all of you to mute their mics during the entire session. If you have any questions, please note them down and ask them in the below comment box or share them during the Q&A session. Also, stay connected with us till the end for receiving a participation certificate. Also, if there is any malicious activity happening, we shall stop this event immediately and resend a fresh link. Hopefully, the instructions are clear to all. So let us begin this event. I would also like to take my time and introduce our esteemed associates who have been a major part of this event. Capro, a full-service HR consultation company promoted by highly motivated and experienced HR entrepreneurs from across the country. With a registered office in Surat, Capro has its presence in 9 other locations as well. Enhancerzz, a learning and development consulting firm that designs and delivers interventions to enhance the level of capabilities in individuals, corporate professionals, or just about anyone who wishes to excel in their respective areas. Sufalam Technologies, an end-to-end digital transformation service provider having a rich experience in the field of IT services and offshore development. Based in Ahmedabad, it has a varied clientele across the globe. Also, our supporting partners, Luthar Institute of Management, BV Patel Institute of Management, and Shree the Power Community. Welcome on board, everybody. So let us begin our first session, which shall be led by Dr. Parinaz Bharucha. She is an assistant professor of human resources at the prestigious Luthar Institute of Management, Surat. She is a qualified lead of subjects like organizational behavior, human resource management, change management, and organizational development, designing human resource systems, and industrial relations and labor laws. She is also an avid member of placement committee at various other committees at the institute level. And today she has joined us to shed some light on the topic, corporate culture for an enhanced digital experience. Hello and welcome, ma'am. Over to you.
Hello, Nafisa, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, surely.
Yeah. Very warm good evening to one and all present over here. I thank Bhatik sir and Nafisa ma'am for giving us this opportunity. I would just like, ma'am, if you could share the presentation. So basically, by the time the screen gets shared, I'll just, go through the theme of today, that is digitizing human resources, people, process, and environment. And one that is given for my attention or for what I will be taking care of is with regard to environment. And that is what is known as also the culture which arises, in the organization. So maybe if I could get some answers from the participants, I mean, what do they understand by this particular theme? Then it would help me to go ahead with the same. Yes, anyone, if you could just give me, one or two responses if I could get. The entire today's theme of digitizing human resources, people, process, and environment. If yes, Unnati says yes. So, I mean, is she given permission to unmute herself and speak? Okay, screen is visible. Okay. So let me just start, right? So digitizing human resources, I mean, it arises, there are two aspects to it. The first one basically is that the HR processes get digitized, and the second is what is the role of an HR while the organization is trying to, get digitized, or organizational is trying to get into technology driven or digital driven organization. So how can, leaders, or how can HR help in creating a positive digital cultural environment in the organization? So my focus today would be on understanding and explanation of how culture, or how environment, or what kind of environment may be created in the organization, so that, it enhances a better digital experience for each and every one of them. Next slide, please. Yes. So the first slide very well says that how digital technologies are changing the workforce and how enterprises can, develop with the aid of HR. So many business leaders are still operating under a traditional model. They are vertically integrated companies hiring full-time employees, right? Wherein people are ought to work for 8 to 9 hours in a shift on the campuses, on the premises. So today's growth in technological capabilities is exponential. The ubiquitous internet connectivity, among other digital advances, is changing the way employees work. So organizations are benefited from the increased digitization at the workplace through maybe increased productivity, or maybe cost saving, a more mobile and an agile workforce, and generally increased flexibility and adaptability. So having a more digital savvy team at your on in your organization will definitely be a boon for the employers as well. So technology supporting a digitally integrated workforce gets stronger and more robust every year, enabling enterprises to keep a very diverse team on the same page and moving towards the same goal or the same objective. Next slide, please. Yeah. So basically, first, I would just like to throw a few light on how, what are the challenges that could be encountered. So this new digital transformation also creates its own challenge, including maybe security, or maybe developing a kind of a digital etiquette to the expectations of the employees, or maybe the tendency for going on. Whenever there is technology, you are never off. There is never an off button, there is always an on button, which may cause a burnout and a stress as well. So integrating technologies, digital technologies into the workplace can not only wreak havoc on the productivity of the workers, but it also creates a distinct culture impacting the previous culture or the previous experiences that the employers would have had. So going on, certain limitations or certain challenges that could be faced is resource allocation would be a major challenge. In a way, adding new digital processes introduces newer tasks, and that is the reason why more operational tasks are added. Allocation of resources are less, and as a result of which at times enterprises are not geared up to scale to that resource allocation within that time frame, and hence it makes the digital transformation difficult. Another limitation or another challenge that could be faced is with regard to infrastructural costing. So driving a digital culture is not just a human thing, rather it is a full-fledged infrastructure that may be required in place. So it requires a range of things, including maybe products, maybe mobile applications, maybe cloud data analytics, automation, and all that, as we all know, involves a huge cost, and hence it may get difficult or it may get a challenging situation. Another limitation or another challenge that could be is with regard to inefficient adoption of automation. So a digital culture focuses highly on automation, which means you are moving from manual processes, you are moving from a traditional culture to a more advanced, or maybe that is the reason why people do not want to come out of their comfort zone, and they do not want to adapt to that automation as well. Another challenge could be with regard to upskilling challenges, that is digital literacy amongst the employees is maybe one of the major roadblock that may be experienced, and it is challenging to instill these competencies in them. And the last one, not the last one, there are many more to it, but what is more focused on and which is more important, and that is the reason why I have kept it at the bottom of the pyramid as well, and getting a greater share of it, is with regard to inertia in letting go of the old cultures and getting into the new cultures. So there are several studies that have been done based on this organizational culture. I mean, how it can be useful, plus it can be a hindrance as well. So according to one of the reports, I mean, it is a problem which business executives face with regard to employees resistance to adopting the changes. So an enterprise built on traditional and rigid process and culture will naturally be averse to changes, because sticking to the old processes is easier than starting from scratch and getting into the new processes. Employees generally resist because they see old behaviors as critical to their success and central to who they are, while seeing the new norms as more risky. We all are habituated to use the technology in our day to day lives, but somewhere or the other, when it comes to adopting that digitization in our of workplaces, it may be a difficult aspect. So maybe business leaders, or maybe owners, or maybe team leaders, or maybe HR may make the people aware and make them understand. I mean, people will only adapt to new things when they understand what's in it for me, right? So when I know that something is going to be beneficial, something is going to improve my efficiency and accelerate my progress in the organization, I'm going to be more adapting to the same. Next slide, please. Yes. So how can organizational culture may create a better environment or a better positive aspect into building the digital environment as well. So corporate culture, as you all must be knowing, if many of them I see maybe from the field of HR, so we all know that a culture is the collective behavior of all of our employees who are working together. So leaders and owners can give their company a competitive advantage and attract the top talent by having a strong workplace culture which is already in place that supports the digital implementation. It is the responsibility of the enterprise to develop the kind of the culture they want to see, including how to embrace digitally. A focus on culture can be used to understand knowledge management needs, roles of employees, and make the undocumented part explicit and accessible. Informed decision making and strategic planning are crucial for successful implementation of a strong digital workplace policy and coordinating a digital cultural environment that works for everyone. So one such model that you see on the screen is a organizational cultural model, which is given by Professor Uday Parikh and Professor TV Rao. They had pioneered this concept of HR culture and they had proposed this octapace culture. So it's an acronym. So it totally stands for openness, confrontation, then trust, authenticity, proactiveness, autonomy, collaboration, and experimentation. So it's an acronym. So let us see each one by one and let us see how this helps in building a strong and a positive culture. So when we talk about openness, it is freedom to communicate and interact without hesitation. So a platform may be given to the employees wherein they can discuss upon what could be the possibilities or what could be the advantages or disadvantages of installing a new systems, and then maybe a informed decision may be taken. So everyone has its own fair share of representing what they feel about the particular issue or the particular concern. So that is more on openness. It's all about, I mean, at times risk taking as well. So employees feel free to express their ideas, and the organization is willing to take risk and experiment with the new ideas and the new ways of doing things. So, the degree of openness of the organization is an important factor in determining the nature of various dimensions of digitization being designed in an organization. So, C is with regard to confrontation. So, confrontation is when employees face problems, work jointly with each other so that a proper solution may be brought about. So, they face the issues squarely without hiding them or maybe avoiding them for fear of hurting each other. The third aspect could be trust. So, a minimum level of trust may be deemed necessary for the introduction of any new digitization system in the organization. Employees, departments, and teams trust each other and can be relied upon to do whatever they say they will. So, that trust will also build up the authenticity. So, authenticity is what I feel and what I am acting is in congruence to the same. So maybe authenticity could be it is a value underlying trust, you can say that. A willingness of a person to acknowledge the feelings that he or she has and maybe accept himself as well as the others who relate to him and to the other person. So maybe if there are any negative opinions that needs to be accepted or that needs to be taken care of while taking a decision in the organization. The another aspect if this parameter is with regard to proactiveness. So employees are rather action oriented. They should be willing to take more initiative, show high degree of proactivity, anticipate issues, and act or respond as per the need of the future. Another parameter is with regard to autonomy. So, when we talk about autonomy, it is the willingness to use power without fear and helping others also to do the same. So, employees have some freedom to act independently within the boundaries imposed in their roles or in their jobs. Another aspect is with regard to collaboration. Collaboration involves working together. So maybe organizations may, have a tie up or collaborate with some other organizations who are good on digital aspects, and maybe collaborate and have a win-win situation for both the organizations and employees of both the organizations. So individuals, instead of solving their problems by themselves, they may share their concerns with each other, and this could be done at an organizational level also. So collaboration between the organizations, they can prepare strategies, work out plans for actions, and implement them all together. So that is how it would be working. And maybe experimentation is something which is emphasizing the importance given to innovation and dealing with the problems in the own way. So development of maybe products, maybe methods, maybe procedures is something which is, a part. I mean, you can take it as an element of a digital aspects, what should be introduced and in what sequence should be introduced. The experimenting part should be involved in the organization culture as well. So this is, I mean, something with the basic aspects of Octapace, which was given by Professor Uday Parikh and Professor TV Rao. Professor TV Rao had even incorporated some more few aspects into the same. Four new elements. Next slide, please. Four new elements of culture were also added in it. So Professor Rao describes the Octapace culture and adds four more dimensions. That is self-regulation, responsibility, empowerment, and learning. So, altogether, these 12 dimensions of culture may help to build organizations, institutions, or maybe even nations at large. So, when we are talking about self regulation, so it means that employees or maybe organizations or maybe leaders are in the process of guiding each other's thoughts, behaviors, and feelings to reach to a common goal, right? Another could be another aspect which he has rightly pointed out is the sense of responsibility. A sense of responsibility is an awareness about your obligation. So while using technology, while using the digital framework in the organization, there has to be a certain obligation, there has to be a sense of responsibility that will arise. Empowering is as similar to autonomy as we saw in the previous slide. So, the degree of autonomy and self determination that arises in the people and the teams. So, that is how it is important. And then continuous learning. So, learning, individual learning, organizational learning is yet another full-fledged aspects which needs to be understood. So that is the process that leads to change which occurs as a result of maybe experience or maybe increased potential, and future learning is enhanced. So this is how, I mean, if organizations of or if HR tries to focus on building an open culture or maybe a risk taking culture, or confront with the problems that the employees are facing, or maybe trust each other, or maybe I mean, try and give an opportunity to the employees to experiment on maybe some new technologies or maybe some new systems within the purview. Definitely risk taking should not be so high that it leads to the loss for the organization, but yes, within the purview, that experimenting capabilities, that authenticity, the trust, the proactiveness amongst the employees needs to be encouraged, so that it encourages them to try out new things each and every day. And that is how a positive culture, or maybe that is how a good culture may be created in the organization. So I believe that's it from my side. When I talk about organizational culture, there are various other aspects to culture as well. I mean, there are various studies done on this particular aspect, right? Culture also defines what kind of working environment or what kind of organizational climate your organization is into. So a positive culture determines a positive climate. So that is how it is going to be beneficial to the organizations also at large. So the next slide please. I mean, that's it from my side. In case if there are any queries from the group, I'll be more than happy to address the same.
Oh, wow, ma'am, that was really intriguing. And rightly said, people will adapt only when there is something beneficial to them. And it is the organization's duty to make it a point in digitizing their own culture. Well, surely everyone has had their doubts cleared and regarding a digitalized culture of their organization. And surely if anyone has a question, they'll drop in the comment box. I would like to introduce our next esteemed speaker, Mr. Ojas Bhatt, founder and client director of Enhancerzz. He has over 24 years in capability enhancement, behavioral training, performance management, HR interventions, academics and leadership development. He has facilitated and coached clients across the sectors, levels, and geographies. A graduate in engineering from National Institute of Technology and postgraduate in business management, especially in HR, Mr. Ojas is a visiting faculty at NMIMS, Mumbai, and other universities, and also an avid speaker at several prestigious forums. Today, he has joined us for a topic, competency enhancement in 2023. Welcome, sir, and over to you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Nafisa. Nafisa, can you make me the co-host so that I have sharing rights?
Sure, sir, sure.
Will that be fine? Okay, so by the time everyone, a very warm good evening to all of you. And thank you for making me the co-host. So a quick input from your side, everyone. So if you are able to see me on the screen and the screen that, of course, I'll still be sharing, but right now, if you're able to see me on the screen and if you can hear me well, can I just get a quick yes from you in the chat box? All those who are able to see me on the screen, can I just get a quick yes in the chat box? Okay, I have Siddhi and Parin, Yashi, Prachi, Unnati, Rashi, Pras, Jitendra, Harsh, Samir, Isha, Mansi, Kushio. This is also my only chance to say a one-on-one hi to each one of you. Thank you, Bhautik. Thanks for the compliments. Payal, Penal, fantastic. So the topic that I'm going to be talking about is competency enhancement in 2023. So before we talk about competency enhancement, since this is the digital medium that we are going to use and digital medium to enhance competency, so we are just going to do a quick exercise here. It's going to be a quick activity, which I want all of you to be a part of. So this will also be one of the tools that is normally used these days in digital learning and competency enhancement. All right, so again, before I move on, a quick question to everyone. I just want you to put in the chat box if you're logging in through your PC, your laptop, or your mobile phone. You can just type the name of the gadget that you are logging in from. Right, so I'm just going to take the next 30 seconds. And if you can just log in through your, yeah, just mention the gadget. Okay, laptop, mobile, laptop, phone. Okay, mobile, desktop, laptop. All right. Okay, wonderful. All right. So either you are logging in through your desktop PC or your laptop or your mobile phone. No worries at all. These three are the most commonly used gadgets for learning and development. And in the recent times, these are going to be the key gadgets to be used in competency enhancement. Right. Wonderful. So no worries. I am just going to share my screen here and I want you to be sharing. Okay, just a second. Yes. So here we are. Okay. All right. So I've shared my screen and in the chat box, I am going to be putting the name of, I'm going to be sharing a link here. So all those who are here, they can quickly click on the link and join this particular quiz. Yes. If at all you are not able to join, then you can go to menti.com. Again, let me type that for you, so that will help you. You can go to menti.com. Right. So menti. In case, so menti.com, and it will prompt you for a code. So when it prompts you for a code, you can administer the code that is given here. And the code that we have is 4432690. Yeah, so you'll be able to use that 4432690. 690. All right, great. So interesting, everyone. Okay, I can see almost 26 of you are already here. I am still going to wait for another 30 seconds to see if most of you can join, right? Because this is going to be extremely helpful in the discussion that we are going to take forward. All right. So either your laptop, if you're on a laptop or a desktop PC, things would be relatively simpler because you will just click on the link and you can log in. From the mobile phone, if at all, it's going to be a little tedious. You can just go to menti.com. It'll prompt you for a code. Just administer the code. All right, 27 of you. I can see the participants are 64. That we are almost, I mean, not even halfway there, but no worries. Let me wait for another 10 seconds, 20 seconds. Unfortunately, I won't be able to wait longer because I have a fixed stringent timeline within which we are going to work here. Okay, great. Now the pace is increasing, almost 32. Okay, so quick instructions of what you have to do here. Okay, there'll be a quick series of 5 questions coming up one after the other related to our topic on competency enhancement. Each question will have 4 options that you will see on your screen. You have to select what you feel is the most appropriate option from the given set of 4 options. Okay, that is one. Second, so you will score if you select the appropriate answer. And second, you will score if you select the faster answer, right? So between fast and appropriate, I would recommend you go for appropriate. But if you score faster, you will get more scores. And also at the end of each question, there'll be a leaderboard which will be flashed. And top 10 scores will be flashed on the screen that I'm sharing here. Okay. But आप सब अपने gadgets में देखेंगे, वहां पे आपको question दिखेगा और वहीं से आप input add कर सकेंगे. ठीक है. All right. So let me start with the first question, everyone. And here we go. So question number 1. 30 seconds for each answer. As per the World Economic Forum, what percentage of employees globally will need reskilling by 2025? 20 seconds to go, everyone. Quickly, you'll have to answer. 21, 22, okay, 27 responses, 28 responses, okay, 30 responses. Fantastic. 31, all right. Okay, time's up. Just everyone, okay, time's up, Okay, we are done. All right. All right, okay, well, we have all the responses selected, but as per the World Economic Forum, right, and this is a very important statistic to be kept in mind, globally, 50% of the employees, they will need reskilling, right? That means the skills that they carry at this point of time may not be enough for them to work in the future or to enhance further in their job or the tasks. So interesting, please keep this in mind, 50%, right? So that means almost half of us will need to enhance our skills. So we'll need to reskill, competencies need to be enhanced. Let's see what the scores say, and the top 10 coming up on screen is this. You please see the screen that I have shared in order to see. All right, okay, great. All right, so I have Samir, who has given the fastest response. Congratulations, Samir. Samir, Radhika, Magnum, Parinaz, Priyanshi, Taha, Deven, Ashish, Deepak, and some individual called 4432690. We are here, right? No problem. Let's go to question number 2. So everyone on your screens now. And what you will score in question 2 will be added in question 1, right? So it's a cumulative score, which will take you to the end. All right, question 2, everyone. Quickly we go. And here it is. Which university launched the competence enhancement scheme to let individuals from different fields to study in the university to enhance their competency? Okay, 15 seconds. Everyone, please try and see if you can answer. All right, 5 seconds more to go. Okay, all right. Yes, it is the Delhi University. Right? Delhi University, very recently, it has announced that its centenary celebration, it's going to launch the competence enhancement scheme. Students or working professionals from anywhere can join any of the courses that they teach in order to enhance their competency. So competency enhancement is in the air as we move on into 2023, right? Wonderful. Let's see the top 10 scorers. Okay. Oh, there's going to be a huge up and down here. And we'll see a lot of new movements happening. Okay, great. Well, so suddenly we have Ashish at the top, followed by, oh, the individual is here, and I would definitely want to look at what name it is, 44326990. Swati, Samir, Radhika, Magnum, Parinaz. Weatherby has given the fastest response. Congratulations, Priyanshi and Nina. Wonderful. See, this is how ups and downs go. Same is going to happen in jobs if the reskilling does not happen. So competency enhancement is the need. Okay, question number 3, everyone. Quickly, let's go to our gadgets. Question 3 coming up on the screen now. Okay, 20 seconds. What number of Indians are aimed to enhance the competency by the Skill India mission? All right. Oh, fantastic. So 40 crore Indians is what the target was. And of course, it was to be done by the year 2022, but because of the COVID and the pandemic, things got a little delayed. But this is what, so even the government is focused on enhancing competencies because there is a need, which is extremely felt globally. Wonderful. So please keep this in mind. Let's keep and see what the scores are. Okay. Well, more movements happening, but let's see how we all go ahead. All right. Oh, all right. We have 44326990. You definitely have to tell me who it is, right? So I don't know. So Nafisa, if there is a chat that comes with what the name of that individual, please let me know. Right. So Magnum has given the fastest response. Congratulations, Magnum. Swati, Ashish, Anjali, Deven, Prachi, Deepak, Samir, and Radhika. They are in the top 10. No problem. 2 more questions to go. So everyone on the screens now. Question 4 coming up in front of you. And here we go. Learners train dash times faster and are dash times more engaged in the training by virtual reality. Oh, times plus times less. All right. All right, great. Yes. So now this is a very important statistic I want all of you to keep in mind. And the recent trend is a lot of organizations have moved into virtual reality training. Right? We must have seen a lot of virtual reality handsets in the gaming zones, and also, of course, when you play some games. Plus, of course, they are used for marketing and sales also these days. But even in corporate training, it is making its advancement because it says 4 times learners learn faster, and they are almost 3.75 times, so almost 4 times more engaged. Right? One of the major challenge when competency enhancement sessions are done. Right. So question number 4. Let's see where we are. Okay, more movements happening up and down. Yes. Scoreboard changing. Swati suddenly going up as the fastest and the highest scorer, followed by, of course, 44326990, Ashish, Anjali, Magnum, Radhika, Parinaz, Deven, Priyanshi, and Nina. And last question, everyone, coming up on your screen now. So let's see what question number 5 tells us. which company has purchased almost 6,000 Oculus virtual reality headsets for its corporate training programs? So 2020, 2021, 22. Yeah. So this is, I mean, not a very recent news, but probably maybe a year back. 6,000 Oculus virtual reality headsets. All right, let's see what input you share. Okay, time's up, everyone. It is Accenture. It's Accenture. Now the point is, I mean, I just Googled what is the price of a Oculus virtual reality headset, and the internet says it is in India, it is almost 38,000 rupees. And 38,000 rupee headset, 6,000 headsets purchased by Accenture globally for training its corporate training programs. Huge investment only goes to show the enhancement and the validity of virtual reality to be used in corporate training programs. No problem. Well, we are on the final score, and let's see who has emerged as the top scorer. And okay, I am great. Awesome. Okay. All right. So Swati, it is. Congratulations, Swati. A huge round of applause to you. And of course, we have our very dear individual, 4432690. As yes, welcome. As the second, Ashish, Deven, Nina, Prachi, Harsh, Anjali, Magnum, and Radhika, top 10 scorers. So congratulations. But again, congratulations to all of you for taking part in this particular exercise. So let me stop sharing my screen and let me share the other screen here with you. So this only goes to say and show that where we were yesterday may not help us be there where we are today. Right? So that, in fact, there's a very interesting book which says, what got you here may not keep you here. Right? So this is exactly what is happening. Things are changing, and so should we. Great. So let me just focus and share my screen, because now I have some very quick inputs that I'll share with you, and then we'll talk further on that. So I have shared my screen here, and here we go. Right. Okay, great. So Nafisa, I hope you are able to see my screen.
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Absolutely wonderful. Great. So we are going to talk of competency enhancement. So that brings us to a very important term. And again, no right or wrong answers, everyone, but there is something I want to know from your side. So in your words, what exactly do you understand by competency? Right. So I'm going to wait for 30 seconds. Please put and share your inputs in the chat box. You can also unmute and share your thoughts, whatever the choice is. What exactly do we mean by competency? Because we are going to talk of competency enhancement, but we need to be extremely clear on the same page, everyone, of what competency means for us. So I'm sorry, I may not be able to give you more than 30 seconds. And again, there are no right or wrong answers. Aapke mind mein jo aaye, please feel free to share. All right, Magnum says it's skill and expertise. Yes, Swati, potential, which helps in getting better results. I'm sure. She says knowledge, skill, and attitude. Rashi, ability to do something. Yes, Jitendra, capable. Prachi, knowledge, skill, ability. Okay, Shruti, specific quality. Harsh, quality that is needed for something. Absolutely. Absolutely. So great, Ashish, Deepak. So, exactly. So in simple words, it is nothing but it is the ability that is required for doing something. Any field, any area of work, we require a set of competencies. Whether you are into data management, whether you are a hotelier, whether you are a data expert, or whether you are a teacher, whether you are a gardener, each of these roles will require specific set of skills and attributes, and that is what we call as competency. Okay. Recent news, today's newspaper, 18,000 jobs are to be laid off in the coming weeks by Amazon. This is in sync with hundreds of layoffs that they have already done. So the Amazon CEO, Andy Jassy, says 18,000 will lose jobs in the coming weeks. Things are changing. We are a part of this change. we'll have to be ready for any kind of change that is happening. But this is what it says, you will be ready for a change if you are prepared. And this is where the preparation comes in enhancement of our competencies. A very quick quote, a picture that has been very popular in recent times. I'm sure you must have gone through this picture. So 2009, 2019. So this quote says, in 2019, both the helicopter pilot and the photographer, they both lost their jobs because of the drone. Jobs are getting obsolete. Reskilling is essential. So when we talk of competency enhancement, there is definitely a need here. We may become obsolete, and because of the recent trends that are changing and a lot of automation that is happening, we will not be able to survive unless the competencies are enhanced. And that is what the focus globally is. And that is why we spoke about the Delhi University. So in fact, the government, academic institutions, everyone is playing their role. And in fact, according to the International Labour Organization, the ILO, India is likely to face a shortage of 20 million skilled personnel by the year 2030. Now that's a huge number, right? And following this, Accenture in 2019 had predicted that if India does not take timely action, such as invest in new technology or industry-related skills, the skill deficit would cost the country almost $1.97 trillion in terms of the GDP over the next decade. And that is the reason the Skill India mission was also launched. Of course, it was launched prior to that, but the focus was on seeing that how do we enhance further. Not only the government, but also organizations globally are investing, and they are playing a major role in enhancing competencies. Great. Now, if there is such a dire need, I have another quick question for all of you. And my question to you is, according to you and according to your understanding, what do you think are some of the major competencies that would be needed in the year 2023? So according to you, what are some of the major competencies that would be needed by individuals in the year 2023? And we are talking in sync with what is the recent trend and what major competencies. So I'm going to give you 45 seconds. You can share your inputs in the chat box. Again, no right or wrong answers, whatever you feel, please feel free. I'm very curious, very interested to see what you are sharing. So please do share. As we all move into 2023, what do you think are some competencies that will be extremely required? Yes, Priyanshi, ability to be camera confident. Okay, that's an interesting thing. Yes. And any specific reason, Priyanshi, why you feel being camera confident is a major competency that will be required? You are in sync with what is happening, but I just want to see if there's anyone. So everyone, you may not give any major 5 competencies, just 1 or 2 skills that you feel are required, right? I mean, if competency is a word that may be hampering our expression, no worries. What major skills would be required in 2023? 1 or 2, all right, is also fine. The more, the merrier. Okay, Samir says it's flexibility and adaptability. Okay, interesting. Magnum, unlearning. Absolutely. Pragya, cognitive flexibility. Okay, that's interesting. AI and ML, technically, yes. Artificial intelligence, machine learning. Absolutely. The sense of initiative, that's true. Digitalization and technical, yes. Ashish, Krupali, problem solving, yes. Absolutely. Great. So interesting. I still have maybe 10 seconds more, and let's see if somebody has something to share. Okay. All right. Great. All right. So let me give you the 5 major competencies. So according to the latest research by the World Economic Forum, we will only be as good as the skill that we possess at that given point of time. We have to be future ready. The 2023 is all about enhancement in major technological areas. So we will have to be as good as the future wants us to be. And that's why the ever learning process is something we will have to inculcate. So the Economic Times, the World Economic Forum, they have given these 5 major competencies in 2023. The first is digital literacy. So digital literacy is all about how well we are equipped in handling the digital areas, how well we are comfortable with digital gadgets. So of course, in fact, the modern generation is getting more and more comfortable. They've always been comfortable, but even people who have been a few years into it will have to be digitally ready and literate as far as the digital experience is concerned. The second is on data communication. Data is the new oil. And this is something we will have to be very clear about. And since more and more inputs will be followed by data, the data communication will be needed. The third is emotional intelligence. The pandemic has taught us that resilience and emotional intelligence is the need of the hour. So we will have to be enhancing ourselves in this area also. Teamwork and collaboration, the hybrid workforce, and it's a kind of mixed workforce, work areas. Globally, people are coming together. So a lot of teamwork and collaboration will be needed. And since we are post-pandemic, so a lot of these areas will involve knowing and understanding people. And the last is cognitive flexibility. So cognitive flexibility is all about your brain's ability to adapt to new, changing, or unplanned events. Adapting to change will be a competency that will be required. Great, interesting. Now, I'm just going to spend the next 45 seconds asking you this question. If these are major competencies, and if globally, universities are helping people enhance their competencies, government is helping us enhance competencies. If you are working in corporates, corporates are helping you with their learning and development initiatives and programs. So what are some of the recent trends that all of you have experienced or have known or have come across, which are used in the areas of learning and development? So I'm going to wait for 30 seconds. Any recent trends that you have experienced? Any recent initiatives that you have come across? Or what do you think is the way to new learning in the year 2023? So I'm interested to know your thoughts, and of course, then I'll be giving you some of my experiences also very quickly. So what do you think are the new ways of learning? Okay. All right, Samir, use of digital mediums like LinkedIn and learning. Okay. All right. Actually, LinkedIn learning, yes. Oh, yes. Chat GPT is a recent trend in tech. Absolutely. The very recent trend. And a lot of times you will now hear about Chat GPT. All those who are not very familiar, in fact, I was not very familiar till what, maybe a week or so, a week, 10 days. But now I know about Chat GPT because I read about it a lot in newspapers. Yes, even Nadella is talking about it with the Prime Minister. I saw the recent news. Absolutely. So any other thought? We have 10 more seconds. Anything new that you see happening around you? Well, okay. So let me give you some aspects that we are going ahead with. The first and foremost is the way digital learning is happening. So people's digital literacy needs to be grown. We have seen it as a competency because the technology is growing, things are becoming digital. So digital skills are required. So gone are the days of only classroom interactions. And in fact, where learners used to walk into a classroom and the facilitator, the trainer, the teacher used to teach them in the classroom. Those days may be gone. it is about digital learning. So any digital gadget, we just saw an example about how we can interact, how we can learn, how we can train, how we can enhance competency by the Mentimeter quiz that we did. So digitalization of learning is happening. Whatever gadgets you have, whether you have your mobile phones, whether you have your laptops, desktop PCs, or the gaming devices, this is something that is happening. The second is this, a very recent virtual reality corporate training programs. In fact, it is said that by 2030, 23 million jobs worldwide, they are going to use virtual reality or augmented reality for trainings, meetings, or customer service purposes. So VR technology, and we just saw about how Accenture purchased almost 60,000 Oculus VR headsets in order to enhance their corporate training programs. The engagement level is high, one of the major challenges in learning. The learning is fast, another major challenge. People, see today when you see even students or corporate people, when they go into a training program, even if it's a virtual training program, they may not be engaged. So in order to keep the engagement level high, this has been found to be a wonderful way where you can engage the learner. So this is the one. The next, of course, is any device learning, especially mobile devices. So in-app learning. So you just download the app of the learning program, and at your own pace, at your own convenience. So self-paced courses at your own convenience. This is again a way into the future. So more and more, in fact, right from the time of the pandemic, we see IT companies booming, startups booming, because most of the things they are getting digitized, and competency enhancement and learning is not far behind. So newer and newer ways. In fact, I am also facilitating a lot of sessions. So let me just give you an idea of one session that I facilitate. This is a simulation program run by one of our vendor organizations called Nallscape. Now here, this is the dashboard. And what a learner has to do is, there are on the right-hand side, you will see a set of actions that need to be taken. So you meet the team, energize the team, you send an email, you hire a member, you fire a member. And any action that you click will have real-time consequences that you can see in the form of their skill and their morale and their performance going up or down. So as you can see on the screen, there are some functional roles, and there are 10 team members that you see. So Kent Goldberg, if you go to the extreme left, Justin Keel next to that. Now, for example, let's say Kent Goldberg, if you see the skill, it's on the red side. So the 30% skill level, morale is 24% skill level, and result 51%. So the guy does give result, but the skill and morale are less. So now the learner has to think, how am I going to enhance? And the right-hand side, these are the actions. So again, simulation-based concepts are only shown once on the screen. The model is shown. This is the model we are going to use. This is the concept. They experience it, and then further discussions happen in the form of debriefing the simulation. Right. So again, another quick pace thing that is happening. So VR, app learning, simulation-based learning, and the need is hybrid working is the need of the hour. Gone are the days when everybody is going to be in office. Of course, there are some offices that will go ahead, but we will have to be accustomed to the hybrid way of working. And because of this, virtual and physical, they will always be there. And the last major element is bite-sized learning. Right. So people do not have the time, nor the patience, nor the engagement level, and nor the connectedness to sit for the whole day in a training session. So everything is getting bite-sized. Right. Even today, if you go to any of the learning courses on Coursera or any of the courses on LinkedIn or Udemy, you will see that it is split up into smaller parts, and each of the videos may be not more than 2 minutes or 3 minutes. Okay. The lesser, the more it can be grasped. So this is something that is there. An increasing number of recent modern generation coming into organizations, they will need this where their engagement level can be sustained for a certain period of time. So bite-sized learning. And to end it all, the recent trend is also a lot into wellness and emotional stability. So globally, the world over, people are going in for this. So these are the recent trends about competencies. So whatever gadget you use, whatever way of learning you use, whatever skill you want to develop, the only point is competencies will have to be enhanced. Things will not work. So what has brought us here is not going to keep us here. So everyone, thank you so much for being so wonderfully participative throughout the session. And thanks, Bharucha, for the opportunity. And thanks, Nafisa, for the coordination. Thank you, everyone. Have a great time. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, sir. This was definitely interactive and fun. It was like playing fastest finger first.
Yeah,
it was totally fun. And righteously said, what got you here may not keep you here. So yeah, so basically the only thing that remains the same is change. So either you keep ashore with the change or get drowned. It's all up to you. Lots of doubts are cleared, and it was really interactive to know how competencies can help us grow and ultimately grow as a self and as a part of an organization.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you everyone. Bye.
Well, it's time for our next and third speaker, that is Mr. Magnum Gupta. We have a really fun introduction of him. So yeah, when Magnum had his baby, his wife sheepishly asked, "What's dearer to you, the baby or HROne?" His answer was, "One is in my arms, another is in my heart." Well, that was really fun. Well, that's Magnum, product director of HROne. HROne in box is quintessentially his brainchild. He's passionate to build and scale world-class products. He loves to read, thrives on adventure sports, and lives to learn. His last formal learning was in the field of data science from ISB. Well, welcome on board, Magnum.
Thank you, Nafisa, for the introduction. I'll just share my screen.
Yes, for sure.
So, Ojas, I like to share, right? You've done an excellent job skilling yourself up and being competent to engage your audience in a very digital, in a virtual world.
Thank you. Thank you, Magnum. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Parinaz. I think you've done an excellent job in laying the foundation for today's session. As I really believe an idea is really an idea unless it's being put into execution. So for the next couple of minutes, right, I'll help you understand how HR Tech solutions can help you enable and kickstart your journey to build happier and connected workplaces. Before I go there, right, I really believe that during the COVID times, one of the reasons that most of the organizations, most of the institutions, the reason we could survive and sail through those crisis period, your operations were not disturbed, and many organizations and businesses actually enjoyed hypergrowth. One of the reasons was you had a lot of teams, you had a lot of accumulated social cohesion working together over time. You had known each other, you had hung out with each other over a period of time. You understood each other, how one functions, what is one's strengths, what is one's weakness. Right. But in today's time, even in today's time, a lot of these businesses have gone hybrid. A lot of people are still working virtually, right? So as an organization, when you see newer people, newer, whatever I'm talking about is actually true for any kind of institution, right? Newer students coming in, newer businesses coming up, right? So whenever you have new people joining in, so the challenge remains to business leaders, business owners, institutions. How do you pass on the core values of an organization to an individual? There are certain things, right, that you can't go and teach. So I think here technology has a very big role to play. Technology does not just bring speed and agility to a process. I think it brings surety to it that is going to happen every time on time. So I'll help you understand, right, how HR Tech solutions can enable organization to offer full circle experience. I believe experience of an organization starts right from the candidature stage, right, where you're trying to connect with a candidate, when you're rolling an offer, when you're trying to keeping engaged to join your workforce. To any kind of engagement exercise, I really believe building culture has got 3 dimensions. One is knowing your audience, that can come you through with continuous listening. Second thing is positive communication, share your thoughts, share your vision, share your core values, how you expect it to be. And then acknowledging the efforts and recognizing the efforts and probably rewarding in different ways. So I'll share, right, how can HR Tech solution help you ace this journey? There are different kinds of tools that as HR Tech players, we have been actively working on. And an HROne, personally to me, right, building happier workplace is something that's been very close to me for last 4 to 5 years. There are different kind of tools that we have gone, explored, and tried to mimic virtually to help enable this journey. But I think today's problem is slightly bigger. You have to figure out ways to develop connect. So the vision from building happier connected happier workplaces has transitioned into building connected workplaces. So over the next couple of minutes, I'll show you what could be interesting ways for an organization or an institution to achieve this journey. One of the simple things could be, right, at the start of the day, right, we've all known mood boards, right? So HR Tech Solutions, HROne gives you a way, right, that at the start of the day, be it on your web app, be it on your mobile app, or maybe over a chat box, you can actually capture the mood of an employee. You could understand how happy is it, what are the attributes, what's making him docile, what's making him excited, what are the different attributes to it. And based on this simple small feedback, there could be very from minimalistic to very detailed feedbacks as an organization that you could get. That what was your average happiness score? What were your improvement areas? What are the things that people are feeling extremely excited about? What are who are your more unsatisfied employees? Who are your most unsatisfied students? Right? And what are people really talking about? You could really see that different kinds of initiative as an organization you're taking. But is the overall momentum, overall mood of the organization changing over a period of time? You could actually go and break down this complete information into different silos like department-wise, branch-wise, designation-wise. So this might be at the tip of the iceberg, right? But as an organization, there could be different kinds of surveys and pulse surveys that you really want to conduct. There could be very detailed. Let's assume you got, okay, work-life balance is not going good, right? Maybe you want to do a detailed survey. So the platform actually gives you capabilities to design well-curated surveys that could be as long, right from a one question to like a 20-question survey that could automatically get triggered. Let's assume there is an employee who completes 6 weeks to an organization, automatically an onboarding survey could get triggered. Similarly, during exit time, automatically an exit interview could get triggered where you could understand that why an employee is leaving the organization. What were the factors that actually triggered the decision? What as an organization I could have done differently to retain the employee, right? So based on this information, again, there could be very well-cultured dashboards that you could get that could get you a glimpse of the overall picture. And then maybe you could deep dive into different kinds of data to understand this, or maybe get into a one-on-one engagement with different employees. Similarly, it also gives you capability to run pulse surveys of different kinds that, oh, how is your work-life balance? How happy you are at work? So there could be different kinds of surveys. Maybe you're trying to bring your workforce from work from home to offices, right? How prepared are you to come back to your workplace? So having access to all of this information helps you better understand your employees. All of these cultures, all of these pulse surveys could be done across different culture drivers, and you could see, okay, what is your overall onboarding happiness score? So one is getting access to the information, but then it is, right, I think there's a very important part, right? Any decision as an organization you take, it is very important for you to communicate the rationale behind it. So as an organization, there are different kinds of communication you want to do. So again, right, bringing technology, bring assurance that the communication is happening on time every time. So let's assume, right, there's an employee, there's a candidate to whom you have offered, right? So automatically the very next day, maybe the candidate could receive a welcome video message from the CHRO or the CEO of the organization, sharing the overall vision and mission of the organization. Maybe 3 days down the line, automatically the system will send what are the core values of the organization. Maybe 3 days before that joining, the candidate will actually receive what to expect on the first day. So maybe the on-time communication, keeping the candidate engaged can help you in multiple ways. It can ensure that the candidates who are really joining your organization are the ones who are really aligned to the vision that you're looking forward as an organization. Secondly, keeping them engaged and connected can actually have a very high success rate of the candidate showing up on the very first day. Similarly, right, there are different kinds of activity as an organization you can do. So just the way you've got Instagram, right, there could be an own intranet that all the employees can have access to. Let's assume you had a Christmas or a New Year celebration at the office, right? You want to share a picture gallery at a click of a button, and HR could go and upload the glossary, and maybe all of these pictures could be shared with the employees. Employees could like it, could share emojis, or maybe share comments. Similarly, Similarly, as an organization, you may want to do different kinds of microlight trainings. So maybe you could simply go and fire drills you could do, or maybe you could do some kind of microlight trainings around security practices, and it will be published on your social wall. And within a minute or two, you could pass the knowledge to the end user. Ojas talked about microlight training, right? So these tools can help you kickstart that journey in itself. Many a times as an organization, you join an organization, there's a long induction that you go through, but probably as we just talked about today, the attention span is very small. Maybe you might want to break down these communications into different kinds of small announcements that an employee automatically gets. On the first day, he gets a welcome video message. On the second day, he gets a task in his inbox to read these HR handbooks. On the third day, he gets a reminder to complete his profile. On the fourth day, he's given a reminder automatically to submit his investment declaration. Similarly, it could be communicated about a book club or a weekly Tambola event that happens across the organization. Or maybe around the month end when you expect the employees to apply their leaves, or maybe do the month end attendance regularization, automatically event-based announcement could be scheduled to an employee's inbox. All of these announcements an employee could reach on the mobile, on the go, and probably HRs could get an acknowledgement that the same has been read by the employee. Again, right, I think brewing connection starts at the very first day. It is very important. So there are a couple of different kinds of activities in organization that you could do to welcome the new joinee, and for the new joinee to quickly adapt and connect with the rest of the peers who may also be working virtually. So what we do is automatically the moment an employee joins, we send him via email and probably a welcome message on different kind of channels to welcome him to the organization. Similarly, the employee would get a task in his inbox in itself to share, to upload his picture, to share, from say hi to colleagues. What are his hobbies? What are his areas of interest? What is his past experience? And the moment the employee will submit it, the same would again get posted onto social wall where different employee can actually come and engage. Similarly, when some employee is normally leaving the organization, you would see on the last days, everyone is sending emails. Similarly, a task could come in your inbox to bid audit to the rest of the team. And similarly, one could write his goodbye message to the complete organization that could again be posted onto the social wall. Similarly, right, now there are a lot of virtual onboarding that are happening every day. So a task could actually come to a manager in inbox where you could write the welcome message, a personalized welcome message to a new employee. He could share that what are the things as a team, as an organization, we take a pride on, and he expects you to comply on. That we like clear combination. We avoid making any false commitments or promises. Right. So every team has a culture, right? You can use this as an opportunity. And the very fact that a task would automatically come into a manager inbox, the probability of this communication happening goes extremely high. Similarly, a manager could also assign buddy some of his team members and could give him different tasks, like show him the office, onboard him to different tools, or maybe onboard him onto a knowledge academy. So, well, that was some of these ways as an organization that you can help connect virtually employees who are joining your organization or even existing employees in itself. Now, the third and something that's extremely important is rewards and recognition. I personally believe, right, all of my team members and I think across the world, working virtually has been extremely taxing. I really believe that all of these employees have been working. In fact, more and more, the work days have gone extremely long. So I think it's extremely important as an organization, you use different opportunities to recognize efforts of everyone's contribution. And it's important that this is not like a one-in-a-year activity where you're giving awards. I think the small contribution your different team members, your peers, your HR are taking and showing appreciation on every transaction is something that is extremely overwhelming for anyone to receive. So there are a lot of different kinds of badges that are already available out of the box in the product. And as an organization, there could be different kinds of badges like Pride badge, or maybe a team player badge, or an amazing mentor badge, or out of the think badge, any kind of badges that you can actually go and create. At the end of the day, employees are should be encouraged to go onto their mobile app, go onto the web app, select a badge whom they want to share, and share with the whole organization what is they are appreciating about the employee. Again, the badge would be visible on the social wall. Again, this is going to be something that's going to brew engagement. People are going to appreciate, like, comment, share this story, something that you experience on Instagram or maybe your LinkedIn. So there is nothing that is sweeter than monetary value, right? So again, as an organization, you could assign different kinds of reward points to each team members that could be shared with others. Similarly, managers could be assigned different kind of budgets, right? That maybe you have a quota of 5,000 reward points that you can share across with different team members to appreciate and enjoy different kinds of success. Later on, these reward points could actually be converted from the product in itself to Amazon coupons or Book My Show, or maybe a dine-in, dine-out voucher. So there are endless opportunities for you to go and do it on the go. At the end of the day, I personally believe, right, there should always be a social aspect to any kind of journey that you're taking. So this is a feature that actually we came up during COVID, right? A lot of organizations, they were experiencing turbulent times. Organization wanted to support different kinds of communities. And many a time there were some corners, some employees, some member of your community who was also getting impacted. So organizations were absorbing the grunt part of the cost, right? But maybe at times they also felt a need, whereas organization, they wanted to run some small fundraiser campaigns. So here in our product HROne, we give you capability as an organization. You can actually design a fundraiser. You could write, okay, as an organization, we want to promote an environmentally sustainability initiative. This campaign is going to run for 30 days. As an organization, we want to raise 25 lakh rupees. There could be a banner that you could upload. And then you could, once you submit it, that complete campaign will get again posted on the social wall. Different employees can actually go and choose to contribute small amounts. They could really understand the purpose of this campaign from that banner itself, and they can go and contribute. And automatically, whenever the next month's salary is getting processed, automatically the amount the employee chose to contribute will get deducted from the employee's salary. So these were some of these tools that I really talked about, right? So all I wanted to say, technology has a greater role to play. HR tech solutions is something that employees are truly onboarded on. But I really believe these tools have become extremely powerful. They can actually help you design your cultures. There's always a value of human touch that's always going to stay. As business leaders, as HR leaders, the bug is on you to actually design different kinds of rituals as an organization to do that helps onboard culture. But at the end of the day, I think there is a greater role technology has there to play. As long as you're onboarded an HR tech tool, and I really believe tool is just a tool. It's how you use it. But I really believe there are a lot of capabilities that can help you transform the culture in a very little effort, daily effort. I would like to share a little bit about HROne, right? We have been in this space of building end-to-end HR tech solutions for last 9 years. We've got approximately 6 lakh users who are onboarded onto our platform. We are serving across 18 plus industries. Customers like Mama Earth, Lenskart, Hire, Hanu, SDFC Ergo, they trust us the preferred choice of HR tech partner. We automate all your business functions, right from talent acquisition to your talent onboarding to your talent management, attendance, payroll, expense, performance, asset management, you name it. I think we really have it under the hood. But employee engagement is something that very close to my heart. We are trying to open our canvases and probably take it to the next level that help organization design and build their employee culture. Nafisa, that's all from my end, right? It was a short presentation. Was it sweet? Is I let the audience to decide it. Help engage your employees the right way. Thank you, Nafisa. Good day.
Thank you so much, Magnum sir. Yeah, it was definitely short, sweet, and really informative. So basically, what you said is absolutely correct. Happier and connected workspaces through tech is actually the need of time. And also it was intriguing to see how technology can literally know the emotions of their emotions and happiness level of their employees. And yeah, another thing is how induction of employees is now converting online and digital. So yeah, definitely technology has a huge helping hand to play in developing organizations. Thank you so much, Magnum. So now we have another fourth and last of our esteemed speakers, that is Dr. Nirav Mandir, sir. Nirav Mandir has been instrumental as a Chief Human Capital Officer with Shree Ramkrishna Exports Private Limited, world's one of the largest diamond and jewelry manufacturing and export conglomerate, generating a revenue of more than 1.8 billion US dollars. He is an honorary recipient of several awards like Excellence in Teaching and Training, Youngest HR Professional of the Year by National Institute of Personnel Management, 100 Top HR Minds 2018 by Times Ascent, Most Influential HR Leaders in India 2016 by World HRD Congress. And he's here to shed some light on a combination of digital and humane for building people relations. Welcome on board, sir. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Nafisa. I hope I am audible to all of you.
Yes, sir. Perfectly audible.
Thank you very much for the erudite introduction, Nafisa. And again, big thanks to Bhautik Bhai for having me here. So when I just received the invite from Bhautik Bhai a couple of days back that you should be speaking at one of the remote. So since almost more than 6 months, I have literally been cut off from the remote webinars or kind of a platform where the respective engagement takes place, because now we have almost covered out of the COVID scenario. So when I shared the invite and they shared the topic to me, their combination of digital and humane for building people relations. So on a lighter note, Bhautik Bhai, we would have selected a subject rather than a building people relation. It would have been the hybrid relations. The reason I say it so is if we really think from a different perspective, we are totally living in a hybrid environment. We are having the hybrid air. We are having the hybrid food. We are living in a hybrid home. We are driving in a hybrid vehicle nowadays, and we are living and working in a hybrid workplace. And so is the case, especially post-COVID. No one has ever thought that scenario would have come that someone would be working remotely, or the hybrid kind of a workplace culture would be there in the existence in this world. And that's totally due to the COVID that things have taken a place. So while talking to this forum, and when this topic is really erudite and it's totally need of an hour, that how the role of HR is there is a catalyst between the digital and the human tech, and how the HR is playing the role as a kind of a bridge between the technology and human at the workplace specifically. So I won't go into the life sciences. I'll refrain taking about the lessons of the life science, but I'll try to stick on the how the respective role is there in the workplace. So when I was thinking that what I should be deliberating today, I thought like, let me recall the memories with regards to the books and the knowledge which I acquired during the past couple of years. So I was recalling a book written by Richard Watson. The name of the book is The Digital and the Human. And when I was just recalling the lessons learned from that particular book, and the tagline, or rather the preface, is being written by none other than Mike Tyson, one of the world's famous boxer. And what he stated in one line, that as a human being, we plan everything till the time we get first punch on our face. Very candid and a very spectacular line in one statement. And COVID has been the scenario that whatever we have planned before 2020, it's all been disrupted. It's all being completely got haywired, because it was a punch on the face of the humankind, that the tiniest virus, which we could see in the electron microscope, how it could disrupt the entire humankind. Not only the humankind, the entire ecosystem set by the humankind, especially if we are talking about the HR concept. And that made me remember that the lesson which we have learned from the COVID is the sense of homogeneity, that technically we all are there in the same bucket. There was a famous scientist, a Danish scientist called Niels Bohr, who also coined down a theory called the theory of complementarity. If I had to simplify the theory of complementarity, it's talk about the ultimate nature of matter, whether it's a human particle or any other particle, is manifested as specific particles and diffuse waves. So as a human being also, we are made of the carbon. Any particle is made of the carbon, and we also release they diffuse the waves. And in the human living era, we called it the aura. So is the case when we are working in any company or any organization. We do have a sense of relations, because today's topic is all about the people relations, or rather I would say the hybrid relations in the combination of digital technology and the human being. So how we would be having a perfect amalgamation of the high tech and high touch, and what's the role of HR into it. So if I were to jot down the people relationships, especially the human relationship, then I think it could be jot down into the 5 other nuances. The first thing which I could ponder upon is the universalism and the particularism. So we are talking about the two different paradoxes. It's totally two different extremes. If we talk about the universalism, it's talk about the entire universe and how we are living in the entire universe. And if we consider the workplace as the universe of our kind of a professional ecosystem, and the particularism, it means like we as a human being while working in the HR ecosystem, because I won't be going into detail, because my fellow, the panelist or the speaker, Magnum, which completely resembles to his name, he's talked about the extraterrestrial kind of extraordinary, and like his name, Magnum, it's extraordinarily, he talked about how the employee engagement could to place to the human capital management software, which is HROne, and very big kudos to them. They are like doing a fabulous job together and helping the HR professionals to make the life more easy as far as the compliances and various employee engagement activities are concerned within the organization. So in that, when we talk about the paradox between universalism and particularism, it's all about, we think that they are separate, but they are actually not. They are not separated, but they are different. So it's like a human being that we think in a different manner. All of the human beings think in a different manner, and it's like a kind of a unique genes we have been inculcated into. But especially when one is working in a family-driven organization, that is a huge kind of a dilemma is being prevailing between the rules and the relationships. So who should be giving, or which thing should be giving utmost priority, whether it's rules or kind of a code of conduct, or the policies or the regulations or the SOPs, or the relationships. So that's the dilemma which is being prevailing across the organization, especially when the organization is led by the promoters or the family-driven businesses. And fortunately or unfortunately, when we talk about India, almost 90% of the organization are led by the promoter or driven by the promoters, managed by the professionals. So this is the one aspect I wanted to talk about, how one should be talking and working with the dilemma with the two extremes. The second thing about the people relationship within the organization is all about the individual and the communitarianism approach. In simple words, it's all about working as an individual or working as a group or in the team. The cricket is one of the famous example how the team is playing. So when the team is there in the fielding side, they are working as a team. But when a batsman or a bowler is doing their job, taking care about their own portfolio, they are working or like doing their efforts in the individual capacity. So which matter or which portfolio could be given a due weightage within the organization? So there is no single answer for the same. It depends on the culture of the organization. Magnum also touched about how their employee engagement, human capital management software is taking care about the employee engagement and the culture of the organization. And when we talk about the culture, it's totally depends on the leadership style of the organization, especially at the top level, because for a longer period of time, it has been perceived that culture is the kind of the value addition created by the HR department or the HR personnel, which is not the completely true. And it's perceived to be really kind of a assumption. And there are theories to prove it. I won't go into detail, but when we talk about the culture, it's little been drawn down by the top leadership or the organization. HR could play a role as a catalyst, or rather as a supporting role to execute the culture within the organization. But whenever we talk about the culture, it's a core responsibility of the top leadership. And that's how it depends on the individual whether to work in which capacity, whether the more focus has to be given to the individual capacity or to the teamwork or the group. And again, it depends on the portfolio which one is owning. There is no single thumb rule for the same. The third and one of the most critical aspect within the organization as far as people relationships are concerned, it's the neutral and the kind of effectiveness within the workplace. So what is the quantum of the degree in which we need to share or express our feeling within the organizations? And that is, I think, really playing a vital role into it. So I would just say a 2-minute story into it. So there was a COVID time, and the demon came to a village, and when the serpent of the village was stopped the demon and then asked that why you should come to our village. He said, like, I have to take 100 souls out of the village because I had been mandated to do so. And Sarpanch, as a pity human being, he could not do anything. And then while the demon was going back from the village, he was having 200 souls with him. Sarpanch curiously asked the question to the demon that you committed that, oh, you would be taking only 100 souls with you. Why you took 200 souls? You are like making a false statement when you committed. He said, I never made the false commitment. I took only 100 souls, but rest 100 souls died due to fear. And that is the kind of a fear in which we all, as a human being, are prevailing within the workplace. The fear of being missed out, or fear of the technology would replace the human being at the workplace. Magnum also talk about that technology could be the enabler as far as our HR functioning is concerned, but there is no point we should be having any fear with respect to the digitization of the respective function in the workplace, respective operations at the workplace, or as far as the digitization of the HR function. So I think we should be really clear in our minds that it could be the enabler, and there is no fear that the HR personnel or the respective employees could be having in their respective minds that one day the technology or the robots or the chatbots or the artificial intelligence or the machine learning, you name it, anything would replace the human being, because ultimately it's the human who created them. So that ecosystem is completely been made by the human. So we should not be having any kind of a fear with respect to the implementation, because many of the organization, or especially the HR leaders, refrain implementing all the autonomous HR software or the employee engagement software or human capital softwares in their respective domain, with the fear that if they would be placed, that what I should be doing. But rather they should be thinking that if they implement a kind of autonomous process in that the function, that they would be having more time to have a creative thought in their own domain. And that's the value addition which HR leaders could play in the eyes of the leadership, because until and unless HR would create value in the eyes of the leadership by creating the business case and contributing to the business, ultimately, we would not be having the due weightage among the board or among the leadership as far as the presence of HR within the organization is concerned, because it's no longer that it's bearable for any HR leader to be playing a role as just a functional guy or a kind of an operational guy. So gone are the days. So one should be really thinking on a higher note, thinking on a larger note, thinking on a very kind of a very secured note, that one should be completely opt for this kind of a solutions, whether it's any of the like the service providers, but it has to have a kind of a due weightage within the organization. The fourth thing what I would like to talk about is the diffuse and the specific, the degree of involvement. So until and unless we don't really involve ourselves in the respective domain, because we also believe in a myth that being an HR leader, we are only supposed to get involved in our respective domain. So I still remember, because I'm not sure those one who are there from the Surat might be aware that SRK, my own company, is having their state-of-the-art craftsmanship facilities are the out of 4 lakh certified green buildings in the entire world in 185 countries. Our 2 manufacturing facilities are among the top 6 buildings of the world. So when we opt for that US Green Building Council certification, I've been called by my chairman and then asked that, okay, you should be overseeing that entire function of the sustainability and the kind of ESG portfolio of the organization. And those were the days I'm talking about 2013. And ESG might be a buzzing word as of now, or kind of a very used jargon in the current scenario, but think about 2013, almost 10 years back. My first statement or kind of reaction to my chairman was that I'm neither an engineer nor an architect. I would be taking care about the ESG and sustainability portfolio as far as this green buildings is concerned. But he was having a faith in me. And then I took that challenge that, okay, let's learn another vertical, which is out of the box and out of the comfort zone. So the point I wanted to make over here is like, gone are the days where you are only concerned about your own portfolio. If you are getting the opportunity to perform in a due capacity where you could contribute your competencies in the larger good of the organization, you should not be letting it off, irrespective of whether it's your domain or not. Because as a human being, the best thing which it's inherent in our genes is the agility. Like by the time one has not understood or one has not learned or studied HR in their due course of academia, one was a normal human being. So why we should be tagging ourselves that though we have learned, studied, or understood the nuances of HR, we would be only performing the HR roles? Who has said that? So till the time, if person is agile enough, or the kind of fortunate, or rather I would say, to get their roles in the due capacity, and if leadership is having faith in you, don't refrain taking up the assignments or the kind of any portfolio which you deserve. So that, I think, the sense of involvement which one could be having as far as the people relationship within the organization is concerned. And last but not the least, one should be also talking about the achievement versus ascription. how one may coin down their respective status. I'm talking about as a department, how you should be laying down the status of your human resources department within the organization. And technology could play a very vital and a very magnum role into it, where you can actually be reflecting to your leadership that these are the things which is also doable within the organization. I still remember when I came out with the HR analytics report almost 7 years back within my organization. It was kind of out of the blue because the world by that time started the HR analytics, or they were started doing the HR analytics in the respective domain. And when I just came with the almost 20-page report, giving each and every pulses where the organization is heading, it would be an eye-opener. So don't refrain doing an extraordinary thing or a kind of a very unique thing as far as your the presence of the HR function within the organization. And these are the things which literally be helping you, any HR leader, to create their own value and create their own ecosystem within the organization. Because the moment we will start refraining or feeling unsecured with respect to any kind of a so-called attack through the peers, to the colleagues, or any ecosystem, whether it's in the form of technology even, we would not be able to thrive for the performance-driven culture within the organization. And that's, I think, that sense of agility we should be having in our mindset. And then we would be having the kind of extraordinary measurement of the function within the organization. So I think that's my take in a nutshell. And I'd be open to the question and answer if like any team member is having a question answer, rather speaking to the silos, because whenever I be taking to the webinars or the remote mode, I think that I'm talking in a silos, I'm working in a silos, I'm not used to be. So I think I would request the audience, if they are having any question, I would be more than happy to answer and share my real-time experiences within the organization, or I'll rest my case here. Thank you very much for having me here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It was really intriguing to know how HR is being a catalyst and a bridge between digital and humans. And it is said that technology will be replacing humans. Well, let's time be the judge for that. So right now we before Nirav sir, we had Magnum sir's point that it's all about technology, and next it is how technically how human intelligence basically will take a due course of time. So all in all, it's a combination of human intelligence and artificial intelligence for sure. So with this, we come to an end to our intriguing session. And this session has catered all the potential opportunities for not just business owners, but industry professionals as well. And I would like to thank all the speakers who were ready to come on board with us and share their valuable insights and share their time with us. And yes, who are open to everything. And I would give next 5 minutes if anybody from the audience has any questions to any of our speakers, do drop in below. And yes, these questions will be mailed to everyone with answers, of course. Any questions, do drop them. For any of the speakers, that is.
Nafisa, the best way to conclude this session is not having any question, because it on the affirmative note, it seems that they've learned everything and they've understood everything.
Of course,
And,
of course, of course.
So they don't have any out of the blue question like they. So it's like the appreciation, it's inherent appreciation to all the speakers.
Of course, righteously said. So with this, we come to an end. I would like to thank all the attendees who have been so attentive during the whole event, and we are sure you must have sorted all your growth decisions. And if you have any questions, of course, and we are not done yet. That is, we are coming back again tomorrow with another interesting topic. So stay tuned for more information. Basically, tomorrow's topic will be on social media. And if you haven't registered yet, the link is in the comment box. Do go and register for that. And thank you, everyone, speakers, our associate members, and attendees. Thank you so much. A good night to all. Take care. Until next time.